This is the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll with headlines and punchlines for April 17th, 2026, the 452nd day of the Sex Offender Administration. Dr. Erica Schwartz is Donald Trump's new pick to lead the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. She is a public health veteran who has led vaccination programs. A new sign, the administration's view on vaccines is shifting tones. As a black woman, Dr. Erica Schwartz is not just Trump's DEI hire, she is qualified to take the blame once his policies begin to kill more people. Justin Fairfax, the former Virginia lieutenant governor, shot and killed his wife Serena before fatally shooting himself in an apparent murder-suicide on Thursday. After leaving office in 2022, Fairfax tried to clear his name of sexual assault allegations and rebuild his legal career by representing the families of shooting victims. If Justin Fairfax wasn't dead, he could represent his wife. Todd Lyons, the acting head of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, which has been at the heart of Donald Trump's immigration crackdown, will leave the federal government at the end of May. If you can't stand the heat, get out of ICE. Singer D4VD, pronounced David Burke, has been arrested on suspicion of killing a 14-year-old girl, Celeste Rivas Hernandez, whose decomposed body was found last year in his apparently abandoned Tesla that was towed from the Hollywood Hills. David Burke said that his Tesla came with that smell and a dead girl option. This has been the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll with headlines and punchlines on April 17th, 2026, the 452nd day of the Sex Offender Administration. Join me live at the Church of Last Resort on Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on MindDog TV.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Damn good coffee and hot.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
Good morning, man. Welcome to Coffee with the Dog. No dog. So while the dog is away, the coffee will play. It is April 17th, Friday. So if you've been, for some reason, you misplaced your calendar or your phone or your date book, and you're waiting for some reminder to pay your taxes for the 15th, you're 2 days late, unless you've already filed for your extension. Anybody paying attention, if you looked at the thumbnails that we put out for the show, for the bucket, it says something like, let me take myself out here so you can see it. What is that? Oh, that's me screwing up. Never mind. So it looks like this. I'm gonna, for those of you who don't know who Sparks are, they've been around. I think the first time I saw Sparks was in like the 80s or something. Around the same time I found out about the New York Dolls. I think maybe Buster Poindexter. I don't know if he was out at that same time or not, but that's about when I've learned about them all around the same time. Now, I just been made aware of a video of theirs. It's a song from 2008 called "Good Morning," and it's on their Exotic Something Something album. And so, very, very good friend of mine, one of my oldest friends. I mean, not in the sense of like age, because I have friends that are older. Well, yeah, one, because I only have like two friends. But I've known this guy since I was like 18 years old. Now he says for me to leave him in the background. I want to bring you in so we can talk. So if you want to turn your camera off, we can do that. Otherwise, give me the thumbs up and I'll just let you in. Right? You want to turn your camera off? Are you that concerned about your hair? That's your mic. That's your that's your mic. So while I sort this out, so a friend of mine, Phil Peters out of Iowa, I was reading. Well, before I go there, let me give you guys an update on Matt, just so you know. If you're friends of his on Facebook, you saw that he is posting things, so that's a good sign that he's not dead. And the fact that he, all right, the fact that he's posting stuff, that's a good sign. And the fact that he's wearing a Crack the Sky shirt, that just says I wore him down, okay? Or he's feeling guilty because John Palumbo did call him to wish him well, and Matt didn't call him back because Matt talked to him on the show. So it could be guilt, or may have worn him down. That cracked it, to the fact that Crack the Sky is one of the best bands out there, and they've been around since '77. So, really good band. Now, speaking of really good bands, I'm going to introduce everybody to, like I said, Phil Peters, one of my best friends. I'm not going to give him like a long introduction because we're going to be talking, and you'll learn stuff during the conversation. So that's basically it. So here he is from Iowa, the great state of Iowa, Phil Peters. How's it going?
Yeah, it's going well.
Now I didn't know about this Sparks song until you showed it to me.
Yep.
And how'd you find out about it?
My daughter came over looking for stuff. She wanted me to listen to two songs. She's a middle school teacher librarian, and she was looking for just a couple songs to start her lessons that had the theme "Good Morning." So one, of course, was the Beatles' "Good Morning, Good Morning," right? That was the one. She played that. I said, yeah, that's fine. And then she played the Sparks tune. And she didn't get more than 2 seconds into that Sparks tune before I said, wait a minute. I know that song. But I didn't know that song.
Right.
I knew the other song that's on your screen here. And I'll let you talk about that.
Now, I just want to talk about the fact that she wanted to use this as an introduction for a lesson for middle schoolers.
Well,
does she know what the song is about?
She did, yes.
Okay.
She said, I'm not really sure I can use this because of the content. And I said, oh, okay, well.
Yeah.
But that was after I'd interrupted her and told her that I knew this song, this other song.
And it's amazing that she didn't make the connection because the song is not unknown to her.
Which one?
Spilt Milk.
That's correct. Yeah,
it's not unknown to her.
I'm surprised she didn't catch it as well.
And like you, as soon as I heard it, I went, "Oh, come on!" But I played it for my wife, and she says, "Oh, where do you think they would have heard it?" You know, and I'm thinking, well, it's been around since 1996, and it's been on the internet since 1998. You know,
has it been that long?
Yeah. 1998, I used to have a radio show from the house. I ran from the house called Click Here. Yeah, called Click Here. And it just featured unsigned bands. And so, of course, we're going to put our own band in the rotation. So, you know, and that was on the air for like a year. And then whenever I need background music for a video I use the instrumental part of this, or the instrumental part from Our Gang Now, or the instrumental part from Character by Pain, just, you know, so I don't have to worry about copyright strikes.
Right.
So it's been out there in some shape or form since 1998. Now, they wrote their song in 2008. And look, I'm not claiming that they stole anything, because I have been in like stores. Matter of fact, when we were Modern Ideal, I'd written a song called Hercules Battery, Square Wave Hercules Battery, and it was instrumental. And it turns out that I accidentally lifted it from 3 different songs that was being played in the music that I heard every day at work. And I just took 3 parts of the 3 songs and I put them together as one song.
Yeah.
And as soon as I learned that, I stopped. Or as soon as y'all told me the song sucked. One of the two happened. And it could have happened on the same day.
Well, that was probably Doug. He would have been.
Now, I'm going. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play like just the introduction. I have both of the whole songs up here, so we can just go through and listen. But I don't want to like get a copyright strike for playing their whole song all at one time. And this, I think, qualifies as fair use, especially since they've already used our music. So
pretty close.
It's
pretty close. I don't know that it's not. They made enough changes. You know
well, we actually have a Sparks. I don't. He didn't say he was a Sparks fan. He's in New Zealand. His name is Heavy Kev. He says Sparks playing down here in a few weeks. Lots of my mates going.
Awesome.
All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna play like just the introduction of just the introduction of the music up, and we're gonna pause it when he starts singing.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna do the same thing for Spilt Milk. Okay. So this is Sparks. Okay, and this is Spilt Milk. Okay. So far, is anybody convinced? Now you're not. Once you start singing, it's totally different.
Yeah.
Because the theme of his song is a one night stand.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even know the person's name, I think, the next morning. And Spilt Milk is about a little old lady who lives in a house by herself, and she's lost every person that she's ever loved.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So the music, those themes are not the same.
Except for her good friend Eleanor Rigby, right?
Oh yeah, Ellen. Yeah, well, Eleanor. and even then, Eleanor died before her. So
yeah.
And she was buried alone. Father Mackenzie was there, but
right.
Yeah, but that's it.
The same key.
Yeah, the same key.
I mean, this is like what?
Yeah, and you're listening to like even the bass line, like dum 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 dum. It's not just a melody. It's like dum 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 dum. You know, you could come up with another bass line. There's no rule that says if you play that melody, you have to have that bass line.
Right. I know it's so similar. It just struck me as odd. As soon as she played it, I thought, "Dang, I know that song."
So here is let me do, I guess, the first verse. Let me see how, I'm trying to think of how long it is. Yeah, we'll do the first round of good mornings. Yeah, we'll listen to the first round of the first time he says good morning up through there.
Morning, who are you? I woke up and saw you. I'm dreaming, still dreaming. My life is now about to lose some meaning.
Now,
Fun song.
yeah, it is. Now, like I said, they've been around for a long time. He's still singing that same falsetto, I guess.
Aren't they one of the oldest continually performing bands out there?
I don't know. Well, I don't know, because they like I said, I didn't find out about them until the '80s, and the Stones are still performing.
Yeah, that's true. But
You know,
they've
and
had a
so-
very, very long career.
Yeah, and I've always liked the keyboard player.
Yeah.
Well, at least his demeanor on stage. I don't know his name anymore. I forgot his name. I should have looked it up because I knew we were going to be talking about him.
Maybe the New Zealand guy can tell you.
Yeah, I know. Have you know the names of the band? You know the band members in Sparks? Now, like I said, I didn't really introduce you. I just brought you in and said you were my friend from years and years. In case people haven't figured it out, Phil and I played together in a band, and he's on the CD. He's a bass player. If you look at the little, I was gonna say, look at your copy of the CD, like they all have one.
Yeah, right. You have to show the image.
Yeah. And they'll say that if I move us, yeah, I'm gonna take this. I'm trying, yeah, because it was right beneath us. I'm gonna take. I don't want to know how do I do this?
Clearly I'm the bald one of the figurines.
Well, let me see here. Where's my media assets? Okay. Oh no, that's. I actually I know how I need to do it. I just wasn't prepared to do it. So let me grab. What am I looking for? Oh yeah, I have to go through. I have to find the file. I'm going to pull the picture up of. Right. Here we go. And wrong one. Wrong folder. Also the wrong folder. You know, I'm thinking that format they do not like it must be saved in a format that this thing does not like. So let's try one more. Let me try one more thing. Let's see. Because it's an image. I didn't want to share this particular one because then I have to explain it. All right. No, it really doesn't like it. Okay. Well, I'm going to put this in here. And I'm going to add this to the stage. Right. So if you look at the lower right-hand corner, it says this CD is called. Right under that, there's a person playing upright bass. That's Phil. That's Phil. He's a bass player.
I haven't aged at all.
No, not at all. And you're just as thin as you were back then.
Yeah.
Now, so that's Phil playing bass in the Urban Poets Society. Now, oddly enough, you did not play double bass on the CD.
I played electric, I think.
Yeah, you played electric bass on the CD.
Yeah.
I played. When the double bass was used, I played the double bass on the CD.
Yeah.
But that's it. And that's on Our Gang. I use it for Our Gang. Which, if man, we got. Oh, good morning, Ann in California. Okay, according to Heavy Kev, Ron Mail. That's the only one he knows. Ron Mail and Russell Mail. Okay, I don't know do you know what instruments they play? But that's okay. So,
the names. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, the names from Sparks. So, we actually, I don't know if you remember about how Spilt Milk was written. I'd written, huh?
I do remember. I was telling my daughter the story the other day.
Yeah, I'd written this song, and it was like 5.5 minutes long, and it dragged out forever. But I really loved the lyrics, and I didn't want to scrap the song, but I didn't like what direction it was going. Like I said, it was about 5.5 minutes, and I sent it to Phil. I said, you got any suggestions? And I think the first thing he said was get rid of half the chords.
Yeah, you had a lot of chord changes, if I recall.
Yeah, because I think I was trying to play every instrument. I think I was trying to cover every instrument in the guitar part, I guess. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's very busy.
Yeah. So you said you got rid of half the chords. And I don't know and you sped it up, because that was the other thing. Because I had all these chord changes, I couldn't play it as fast as we play it as it's there now. So yeah, you fixed that up real good.
Well, and then you came up to the house, not in Iowa. That was back in Maryland in the day. And we had a keyboard sitting out I think it was just laying on the floor of the living room. But I don't think we even had it on the table.
Was that the chord T? Was that the T1?
It might have been.
Or did you have something else at the time?
I think it was one that I maybe had borrowed from school for a little bit to do some work.
Oh, before the T1.
Yeah, and we just started playing, and we set it to we set something to a brass sound, and started. We had that and added some brass things, and then a French horns type of sound, which for the break there in the middle. Yeah. And we just kind of were playing. We were just, and then he said, "Oh, I like that. I think we'll keep that." And then I had to try to remember what we did.
Yeah, that was the thing, because the same thing happened. Actually, the same thing happened with "Character by Pain." We came up with the music in your garage. We were jamming, and the music was in the garage. And I said, "I got a poem that that will go great with this." And we didn't record it. We didn't record it. So I went back. I took the music that I thought the way I remembered it, went home and rewrote the poem so it would be a song. But the bass line at the time had more like a circus feel. And that's why when I wrote, because I didn't have a refrain for that song, Life Under the Big Top didn't exist, because that wasn't part of the song. But because you had the circus motif in the music, I wrote that refrain to fit that. And then when we got back together, because we didn't record it, we couldn't remember. We couldn't remember exactly how we played it.
No, but that's the good thing about living in the moment, right? When you're in the creative mind, and you just go for things,
Yeah, that was, and the funny thing is, for the longest time, I thought that you actually, because you were taking French horn lessons, and so I thought that you could play that French horn part, and you just did it on the keyboard for expediency.
Yeah, right.
I had no idea. I had no idea that you actually couldn't really play that French horn part on a French horn.
No. Not anything you'd want to listen to.
The other day I played the video that you did for When I Die. When you're playing the banjo and you're playing the da 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 da. You remember?
I don't.
Yeah. I'm putting it together. For those who are just hearing this for the first time, I reached out to my friends, and I just asked them to say like 1 minute or so, about a minute or so about me, or what their final thoughts about me, so that when I die, even if they're not there, their thoughts would be there. And so Phil was holding his banjo, because I think you're taking banjo lessons at the time.
I was, yeah.
And you said that you always finish with that thing from the specials.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
And so you played that on there. So I think that's what or you just sent me that video. No, did you just sent me that video?
Yeah.
You just sent me the actual thing that you did. You had a bunch of references to. You used like each song title in a sentence or something.
That's correct. Your songs. Yeah.
Yeah. In a sentence. That's the video. No wonder you don't remember. I'm describing the wrong video.
Yeah.
You probably went to looking like, oh, I don't remember doing that. Yeah, it was just a random video. Now here's a question for you that I back before the internet, you and I and Doug, we used to write letters to each other. Okay. By chance, do you still have the letters?
I don't. If I do, they're buried behind the fireplace in a secret compartment that someone in my house will discover years from now, and probably think there was some weird, 3-person love affair.
Well, I'm just curious because one of the letters you was talking about, he said, "I have an idea for a song," or at least you had the verse, and the first verse was let me see here, something where the old gang was there. It's the first 4 lines from Our Gang, and I'm trying to remember what those first few lines were. It's like, hello, Jack. Oh, hello, Jack. Where's the old gang gone? Where are the old smells? Where are the old songs?
Yeah.
And you said, I don't know what else you said, but I don't have any idea what to do with it after that. I just got this little verse in my head. And I said, you mind if I work with it? And he said, oh, sure, go ahead. So I did Our Gang based on that. From those 4 lines, I wrote Our Gang. I think technically it's called Our Gang Now.
Our Gang Now, yeah.
Because it's about what happens to people who known each other for a long time. They have one relationship. Well, that's not exactly it. It's just like a bunch of short verses about a bunch of people that I knew in my life. Like each person got like 2 lines or something.
Yeah, and they come into your life. They cycle through, and then they, as life takes them away.
Yeah.
Sometimes back and forth, right?
Yeah. And I had it the way the song was written, I got it. I always had it imagined as a video. And the guy walks into the bar. Actually, the way the video is supposed to work, you follow the guy's feet up the sidewalk, and he goes into the bar, the door opens, and you hear the bar sounds. And that's when he goes, hello, Jack. How's the old gang? And then Jack is the one who's actually doing the vocals, because he's saying what's happening to everybody. And as he says it, like you'll see them off in the bar or something like that. So and so's here, so and so's there, and this is what happened. This is what they're doing now. And that's how the video was supposed to go, which I never shot ever. So, but I'm still up for it. haven't just don't have the time.
Yeah.
So if you want to do it, Phil, that's fine. That's cool. Because
There
I
you
know
go.
you're not doing anything at all now these days, right? You have all this free time now that you're retired.
Actually, I'm resting a herniated disc in my back right now.
Ooh.
So, that happened about a little over a week ago. So,
Are you still able to teach?
I'm teaching my lessons yet, but I had to cancel out some gigs that I had to play this week because I just physically can't lift my bass right now. But it's going to be fine. I just have to give it a couple weeks.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah.
All right, cool. So to teach, you don't really have to. Well, your bass is already in your house. It's not like you got to pick it up. You can just lean it. If that's if you need it at all.
I just sit in a chair, listen to my kids, and come in and tell them, oh, you're playing that note out of tune. Fix that thing. Put the finger down on the right string.
Now, occasionally, Alex, I'll mention things in my life, and because you've been a part of my life for so long, there are a lot of stories that, like, we co-wrote a musical together, Wicked.
Yep.
And
not Wicked, Wizard.
Oh no, we didn't write Wicked.
Don't give us
Wizard.
credit for the big one.
Wizard, right? Wizard. So. Now, Heavy Kevin's in New Zealand. He's also a musician.
Awesome.
And he just says, banjo is one of the few instruments I have never recorded. Would love to sometime. Well, I'll tell you what.
Go for it.
Phil and I will come down to New Zealand.
Yeah.
And he'll bring his banjo.
Oh, jeez. I better get it out.
You better start practicing.
I got out the guitar last week and found over time the string had broken, so I had to go grab a new set of strings.
Now, how often do you buy strings for the banjo? And I'm curious because, like, I have not bought new strings for my guitar in a very long time because I bought so many strings. I still have like a stack of strings like this.
Yeah.
So I haven't bought strings for my guitar in years, and I think I'm going to go through some serious sticker shock when I go to buy my first set of guitar strings in like 20 years.
I got a set of guitar strings for my acoustic guitar. It was only about, I don't know, like $8 a set. It wasn't horrible. And it came packaged in 3 sets. So I got like 3 sets for $24. It wasn't that bad.
Okay.
But I haven't ever put strings on the banjo since I bought it. But it's not really a great banjo. It's just a cheapy thing that I could dink around with here at home. And I could say pretty much that that's all I do is dink around. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah.
I told people about the time that the first rehearsal we had for Wizard, and I was saying that for the most part I don't really read music very well. I can memorize it once I can memorize it, but I don't read it well. And I was probably the only person that you trusted in the orchestra who didn't read music. Like everybody else in the orchestra could sight read. And I was the only person who didn't sight read. I just had everything memorized, except for one bass line that you'd written, and I couldn't get it. I knew the notes. It was the syntax, I guess, if you want to call it that. Like the way you fingered it didn't seem natural to me.
Yeah.
And so it was really hard for me to get it, and I couldn't get it a tempo. And that was the first time that you yelled at me, at least in front of other people. And you said, "Damn it, Glenn, you were supposed to know this by the time you got here," or something like that. And everybody knew that, like, you and I were friends, and I'm pretty sure they sent a message like, holy shit, if he yells like that at his friend, what would he do to me?
Yeah, performative aspect of teaching is to know who to yell to and who not to, right?
Oh man, it's like, God damn it, Glenn. It's like, oh man. I honestly, I was holding back tears because first of all, I knew I'd let you down, and I hate letting people down. And so my first response was I wanted to start crying because like he's right. I should have learned all this stuff. I should know this, And then I started beating myself up because I couldn't sight read. Then I started to beat myself up because my fingers didn't play I knew the notes, I just couldn't play them in the right way. And it was everything I could do not to just start bawling like a baby.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I didn't start crying was because I knew you'd never let me forget it if you actually saw me cry. It was okay for me to cry on the inside.
That was like way back in 1990 or something. 91.
Yeah, it was 1990, 91. Have you talked to Larry Hughes since then?
No, I've lost track of him. He was our gang. He no idea where he is.
He's not even in the song. Damn it.
Yeah.
And Larry Hughes,
drama director.
He was the drama director at Randallstown High School.
Yeah.
And I guess for the most part, he wrote the words.
He wrote the book. Yeah.
Yeah. The words for because we lifted the play from the Frank Baum book, Wizard of Oz.
Right.
Because that was public. That was like public domain.
Yeah.
So we just wrote music and lyrics and pretty much lifted his theme.
Yeah.
The book, though, not the movie, because the book and the movie are different. People don't realize that.
Yeah, but we needed a vehicle. We needed a play or a musical that was accessible to the students at that school at that time.
Right.
And a lot of the traditional school musicals, that other schools were doing,
they were expensive.
Well, not only were they expensive, but they also didn't speak to the really diverse nature of our student body.
Right.
At Randallstown. And we really needed and wanted something that would invite everybody to be a part of it. And we had a great cast.
You did, yeah.
And it's because they were excited. They were excited that this was being written for them and to showcase their talents. We knew who we had and yeah, it was one of those projects that it's not going to live beyond the moment,
right?
But in that moment, it's a really great thing to do,
and in that moment, it's a really big deal.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because I don't know how many high schools can say we had a musical written just for us.
Yeah,
and we performed, and we did 3 shows. I think, three shows.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Now I as a lot of you guys don't know, Phil was a teacher for multiple years, 3 or 4 decades. For a long time, and his students, and I guess other teachers, if you're out there, if you're a teacher, you probably get this. His students just love the hell out of him. It almost makes me wish I'd become a teacher, except for all the work you have to get through to get to the point where they start liking you like that.
Yeah. It's a great career. It's a great career choice, especially if you love watching students achieve, and just grow at their own, own potential, grow into their potential.
Now, I'm hoping that Kev is not saying this in the present tense, and he's saying this like as a high school student. He wrote nothing better than school musicals to get you excited about playing and a great way to meet cool girls. So I'm hoping that he's not saying this in the present tense. Like, yeah, I still do school musicals so I can meet cool girls.
It's called community theater now.
Community service theater. Our air conditioning broke yesterday, and it was like got to be like 90 degrees yesterday, and our house retains heat like you wouldn't believe. It's I don't even know what the temperature is in my office right now. I think it's like 76, and I don't even think it's that warm outside.
We're here. It's gonna hit 83 today in Iowa, and then overnight we're gonna have wind chills of 26. So we're gonna have a I don't know what's going on.
So you're gonna have morning summer and evening winter,
and
without the snow.
I don't even think tomorrow it's going to get into the 40s here. And for those of you internationally, this is Fahrenheit we're talking about. So don't go crazy thinking we're at 83 degrees Celsius.
Man. Yeah. It's fun. Now I'm going to go back to, I'm going to do one more verse of Good Morning by Sparks and one more verse of Spilt Milk. Did I do it? I don't know if I did a verse of Spilt Milk.
You didn't. Not yet.
Okay, so we did a verse from Good Morning. I'm going to do one verse from Spilt Milk.
Lived in the corner house for 50 years to crime. All the men that never were, cause all the boys had died. All the fatherless children whose mothers pulled their weight. Knows the pain of all of those who've come to know this fate. You've seen her face.
Now, let me I just want to get oh, okay, there we go. I want to pull it out of there. Because I'm not sure. There's a chord change. There's a change during the second half of that verse, and I'm trying to think if they have that same change in their song right after the verse. I'm going to put it back in. Because they do have like a bridge and stuff in there. So let's see here. This is Sparks. Yeah, we're going back to Sparks. Good morning.
Something rare is this, what surely must have been a holy night of bliss. Gratitude for having thought of me. I know your time is tight, and yet you thought of me. Good morning.
Yeah. So like I said, their little, I don't know what to call that part of the song. I guess it's the extension of the refrain, but musically, I don't know what to call that little part. I don't know, it's motif, theme. I don't know all that stuff.
Yeah,
but so it's different. That's different enough. I mean, and we all seen that before. You know, music. You know, I think. Well, I'm okay. I've written songs that I've liked. Like I'm trying to think it. There was an Oingo Boingo song called "Just Another Day," and I listened to that song like maybe 10, 12 times a day, and I liked it so much. I wanted to write something that I wanted to write something that I felt. I wanted to write something that made me feel like that song made me feel, But what I did was I took out their bass line. You know, after I wrote everything, anything that wasn't my original part, I got rid of. So you couldn't tell that I actually was inspired by that music because I took it all out, you know. And also only had 7 tracks. I was using a Casio. I mean, not a Casio, Tascam Porta 1. So you can only have up to 7 tracks and keep it separate.
Right.
And so, or 4 tracks separate, and then you can bump it down to 3 tracks, or bump 4 tracks down to, you can bump 4 down to 2, and you can keep bumping them, but you're trying to keep them separate so you can remix later. And so once I got their bass line, and then I wrote my bass line, I delete theirs and get their guitar part, put my guitar part and delete theirs, so you can't even tell that this song was actually based on another song. Other people aren't that smart. You can't tell anything. Literally, if there's anything that I've written that I've kind of ripped off, you can't tell, because the parts that I ripped off, that I used to rip off or write from, I deleted all evidence. It's all gone. It's like stealing cookies from a cookie jar and wiping the crumbs off the counter.
Right.
So, people on, let's see. Oh, Ann says, "Wow, they're cool." Sparks. Ann says she's not familiar with Sparks. Like I said, they've been around. Well, this song is from 2008. I'm not sure when this video was done. I was under the impression it was shot during COVID, but
that would explain the large crowd scenes.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I said, I think they did they actually did a song with the Go-Go's, or at least with Jane Wheedlin from the Go-Go. Let me look that up real quick. Sparks and Jane Wheedlin, right? Sparks and Jane, and they come up Sparks and Honey. No, Jane Wheedlin. Cool Places. That's what it is. The song is called Cool Places.
I'm going to move out. I'm going to move outside. Is that all right?
Oh, sure.
We're on the move, man. We're on the move.
Yeah, she wrote the for people who aren't familiar with the songs, I'm not going to play it, but there's a song by Sparks with Jane Wheedlin. It's called Cool Places, and it was like 1983 was when that album was out. I think the album was called In Outer Space. If the research is correct, the album is called In Outer Space. If the research is not correct, I have no idea what it was called. But the song was called Cool Places.
Yeah.
Now, some people may know you from the fact that around Halloween, I would play the video that we did.
Yeah.
And the other day, I actually broke it down for people, because a lot of people just hear Monster Mash, and they don't realize all the other parts, all the other stuff that's going on in there.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's so much going on, and they have no idea, because all they hear is Monster Mash. And no, there's like you got treatments from Majerski, I think.
Yeah, there's pics. Yep. Night on Bald Mountain is what it was.
Night on Bald Mountain.
Yeah.
So there's like and most of that's like in the cello parts.
Right.
Yeah. So I wanted, and the thing is, I don't know if you feel like about this, when people hear music and they miss the intricate parts. And it's like, no, there's so much more to this. You gotta hear what the cello's doing. I don't know if it drives you crazy like that or not.
Well, that's a good question. It's because I think about that when people say they don't understand classical music, right?
Right.
And I think, well, if you can break things down. In a classical symphony, for example, you'll hear this folk song here, or this little thing here that comes back, and then then it doesn't just become like this big long thing that you can't get into. It's like you're recognizing these little pieces that form the whole.
Right.
And then you look forward to hearing those again.
Yeah.
And it's same when I was doing that video. It's like, okay, how many little things can I put in that that maybe some people will recognize, maybe most won't, but you know, it was more, you know, to I don't know, just put a little added interest in that song, a little added things.
Would it annoy you if I played it and we could break it down?
No, I hope I can remember what it was, what we did.
No, I had to find it. I had to find where you know, the thing is, I've had this computer and some of these files for a very long time. And when I first created these files, the files that I named it, the things that I put it under made perfect sense. And then after a few years, the same logic doesn't apply anymore. It's like, let's see here. First of all, I don't like, for example, Monster Mash. I didn't know if I saved it under Monster Mash or but we didn't rename it. So let's see. I'm hoping
We just did a different version. We started with more of a reggae style intro.
See, I'm a little nervous now because I'm not sure which one of these is the right. I have 3 files here, and I did this last time also.
So you've played that on this?
Yeah, and I have three things here. One says Monster Mash Duets for Fun. One says Duets for Fun October video. And one is 4 minutes 13 seconds, and the other one is 3 minutes and 47 seconds. So, and there's another version that's 3 minutes and 53 seconds. Okay, fuck it. I'm gonna start one, and if it's the wrong one, I'll back out and just admit that I made a mistake. What I could do, I'm gonna add the other one just in case. And that way I can have to stall again. I could just say, okay, it's not that one. I'll try this one. All right. Now, I'm going to guess that it's this one. I'm going to try it.
That's it. The Addams Family.
Yeah.
I was walking in the lab late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight. For my monster from his slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise, he did a monster mash. It was a graveyard smash.
I'm sorry. Is the cello, is that part from the Monster Mash, or is that
No, the cello part there is from. That's from A Night on Bald Mountain.
Okay, so that's Majorsky.
Ba, 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 ba. That's really big in the Mussorgsky thing, and here it's just a background cello bit.
Yeah. Okay.
It caught on in a flash. He did the monster mash. From my laboratory in the castle east to the master bedroom where the vampires feast. The ghouls all came from their humble abodes to get a jolt from my electrodes. They did the monster mash. It was a graveyard smash. It got on in a flash. They did the monster mash.
Okay, this cello part is from what? Do I need to play it more? Because I stopped at the beginning.
Let's play a little bit longer, I think.
Zombies were having fun. The party had just begun. Guests included Wolfman, Dracula, and his son.
Oh, I can't remember where I got that. Oh.
Now, when you were doing this, were you like, did you okay, obviously you knew all these pieces. You've been teaching classical music for a very long time, and you've been playing in a classical orchestra for a very long time. So the stuff is there, but when did you first start hearing like that cello part and associating it with Monster Mash? Because Monster Mash has been around for a very long time as well. So when did you go like, I want to do Monster Mash? Oh, because I remember when you told me about it. You asked me if I wanted to be a part of it. But when did you start hearing these classical pieces interlaced with Monster Mash?
So first of all, I just remembered where I got that last cello theme. So let's start that first.
Okay.
That's from In the Hall of the Mountain King by Grieg.
Okay.
That's just a little lick from that. So that finally came to me. And second of all, I don't know when the idea of merging those in. I think I was just looking for some ways to have Michelle get involved on the cello part.
Oh, okay.
And how do I write a cello part that really adds in to that song?
Oh, okay.
You know,
yeah,
and yet still be somewhat Halloween themed, because around that time of year in Halloween, if you look at a lot of classical music concerts, you will see In the Hall of the Mountain King and Night on Bald Mountain, you will see those pieces on orchestra programs in October.
Okay.
So
I'm not highfalutin, so I've never been to one of those things. Yeah. Well, at most, my Halloween activity, other than trick or treating, was like going on a hayride or something.
Yeah, right.
So let's see. And this is now just for the record, people. Phil did all the vocals. I know there was like an image of me mouthing. I didn't sing anything. I mouthed those words. And Michelle didn't sing anything. She just mouthed. Phil did all the vocals.
Yeah.
He has different sets of underwear for different octave ranges.
Thank goodness for a good DAW program that can let me do that and mix it in.
Good morning, Mr. Nice Guy. All right, let's see here. So, and honestly, this is my favorite part of the whole video coming up. And that's only because I shot that for something else, and I had no use for it at all until you came up with this. And I said, I got something I can put in there, and I had to make the tempo fit. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the reason why the tempo doesn't actually meet. It doesn't actually, because I had that footage in the can from something else. Oh, I remember. This is so stupid. But years ago, the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll used to have a show, a live show on Roku. And so the Reverend was interviewing Cousin It. And so, but it was on video because obviously the two of them couldn't be in the camera at the same time. So that was what that was from, you know, with the and it was just me with my hair pulled over. Actually, it was my hair like back behind me, and I put the hat on backwards and the glasses on backwards.
Right.
And that's why it seemed so. That's why the motions are kind of jerky, because when you're actually, because I'm trying to do it backwards in reverse as opposed to, and that's I love that little thing. It's like, oh, come on, Cousin It. Or I think I called it Cousin Blit, like the Black It, I think. But I really like that part. It doesn't get enough notice, not enough credit. It's an Emmy Award. Okay, well, here's the next part.
Was rocking again, all we're digging the sounds. Eager on.
Oh, this is not a nod to me, but when you first asked me to do it, you said you want to do it reggae, and I started playing it ska.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
He goes, "No, I want it reggae," and then you said, "Well, I'll tell you what, let's start off with reggae, and then let's go to ska." You just went like, "Yeah, sure, let's." Obviously, you can't play reggae without playing ska, so we're going.
Right. Yeah.
So that was your arrangement, your musical arrangement abilities. Just I could go from reggae to ska. I said people don't know all the stuff that goes into just something simple like that little video. There's a lot of work, but a lot of fun.
Right, a lot of fun.
Okay, so let me get. It says King Crimson shirt is cool. Who's wearing? Are you wearing a Crimson?
I was going to say bonus points to whoever guesses what the shirt was that I was wearing. This just a couple, well, if you keep going, I think I still wear it.
Okay, let's go.
He's backed by his bang hound. The coffin bangers were about to arrive. With their vocal group, the Crypt Kick-a-Five. They played the Monster Mash. It was a graveyard smash. It caught on in a flash. They played the Monster Mash. Out from his coffin, Drax's voice did ring. Seems he was troubled by just one thing. He opened the lid and shook his fist and said, "Whatever happened to my Transylvania twist?" Now the Monster Mash, and it's a graveyard smash. It's caught on in a flash. It's now the Monster Mash. Now everything's cool, Drax a part of the band, and my Monster Mash is the hit of the land. For you, the living, this mash was meant to. When you get to my door, tell them Boris sent you. Do my Monster Mash, and do my graveyard smash. You'll catch on in a flash, then you can Monster Mash.
Okay, two things. First of all, people don't realize that. I think you and Michelle only had like 2 Halloween masks the whole. You're just shared masks since you didn't record anything at the same time. You're just sharing masks.
That's right.
I have like 20 masks, and I'm just switching masks. And I know, and first I noticed right away that Michelle's arms were disembodied.
She likes to wear when we do those things against a green screen. She likes to wear like a green T-shirt.
Oh, okay.
So that the only thing that shows are the arms.
See, I honestly I thought that was because the introduction, because the Addams Family, and you see the wrist and not and I thought it was like a callback to that. I didn't realize that she just always wore the green shirt.
Yeah, she thinks it's hysterical.
I do. It's like I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And it's also, you guys used to do this you guys did one video every month.
For
a year, I think.
Yeah.
And then y'all stopped.
So we had just retired, and we retired after the bad COVID year of teaching. And in that COVID year, we were required to teach orchestra simultaneously to students who would come to school and to students who were online checking into orchestra class, whose parents had decided, it's still in COVID, we're not going to send our kids to school, but they still needed to come to classes.
Right.
And so we had, in that final year of teaching, we had learned how to do all this video setup and audio setup to make sure that the students at home could hear the students in the classroom and vice versa. And we had all these skills that we learned, and then we retired, and we were thinking, now what? We spent that whole year doing that. What do we do with it? And so we had this idea. Actually, it was Michelle's idea first. She said, I would like to do a duet video for Christmas to send to my family of just us playing. I can't remember the name of the tune, but it was a Christmas carol that she wanted to do. And so we did a simple, non-edited video of us playing this duet. And then the wheels started flowing, and I said, well, what if we did one every month and kind of themed them out to the month? So then we did a New Year's one for January, and we did a Valentine's one for February, St. Patrick's Day one, and so forth down the line. We tried to find a theme that we could go with for each year, and that's why this shows up in October. And you'd come out in August to help us put some of it together and make some of the recording, audio and video recording bits that we could do. And then it took a long time because this was the more complicated video that we'd done.
It is, yeah.
A lot of moving pieces.
And a lot of moving pieces in over 2 states.
Right. Yeah. And even after you visited in August, we were still going back and forth, sending files to each other.
Yeah.
To clean some things up or re-record things that needed to be lined up just a little better, I think.
Right.
I can't remember the details, but I know I vaguely remember saying, "Oh, I need that guitar part to just be more like this in this little bit
or something or whatever."
Yeah, and so
now I remember one issue very much that I've gotten better at it. Back then, my arthritis was such that if I played an E minor, when I played a minor seventh, once my pinky got into a position, it would get stuck, and I couldn't get it back out to do the next chord. And so I think for what we recorded in Iowa, I did it, and instead of playing like a minor seventh, I played a minor chord, and then I came home and did the minor sevenths and sent them to you, and you like inserted them into the thing because my fingers it still kind of pops, but it's not as bad because it's getting used to the idea that it's got to move. Right, but it still pops a little.
Yeah.
Yes. So that was a lot of fun.
Now, if you go forward in this video, you're going to hear some Elton John and some specials in the cello.
Yeah, and that's where we are right now. We're about at that right after the cello solos. No. Elton John. That was special. Monkey Man.
Yep.
I'm trying to. Oh, there it is. I can get rid of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Heavy Kev. Well, Ann says this is cool, GD and Phil. And Heavy Kev says, what DAW? What DAW does Phil prefer?
Phil, I use Logic Pro.
Okay.
On Apple Mac.
Oh, that's right. Yes, right. Phil is one of those Apple people.
Yeah.
And I have one of the right ones. No, I'm just saying I have Windows. But I think I'm the only person. I was the only person I knew who was doing editing in Windows. Everybody else I knew who was doing any kind of editing with audio and video was using Apple. And whenever I needed help, I'd reach out to like either you or Kurt Kolb or someone, and he'd go like, "What are you using?" I went, "Windows. I can't help you. I can't help you. Get an Apple. I can help you. Get an Apple.
Yeah.
Get a Mac. I can help you."
But if you're on Windows, I think Pro Tools is really good. There's a lot of them that are really good that you can use. And here's Gus. He's making an appearance.
He's one of the coolest cats. I don't think was he raised with May?
May.
Was he raised with May or
no? We got them separate, about 5 years apart.
Okay, because I was wondering, because sometimes Gus doesn't act like a cat. Sometimes Gus acts like a dog.
Yeah. Well, he's a really cool cat, except at 5 o'clock in the morning when he wakes us up. But
he's and the way he is with Phil, like when I went to visit, my first time he'd ever met, he was sitting in my lap just like that.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, a new lap. I'll go sit in his lap now.
Everybody who comes for either cello or bass lessons here, parents come in to sit through the lesson. He's right in the lap of every parent that comes in here. So
now I have I'm going to do a little bit more of Sparks. Good morning, because I want to get to some of the instrumental. The only thing is we're going to run out of Spilt Milk way before we run out of Sparks, because Sparks, this video is like 4 minutes long, and Spilt Milk is like 2 minutes and 8 seconds.
Yeah, it's all
thanks
right.
to Phil's editing. No, it used to be 5 minutes, but Phil goes, thanks to Phil, it's only 2 minutes and 8 seconds. It really is not a long song, and it's so short that I want to play it again.
But look how much radio time it's got you.
Here we go. Some more Sparks.
You woke up, got dressed up, hair messed up. Well, I fix you breakfast. I hope it's just your love that is infectious. Good morning, in sorrow. I know that tomorrow you'll be with some winner who's richer than your maybe even thinner. Rumors in the bank and petrol in the tank of some Mercedes Benz who spends and spends and spends on food, the restaurants 1,000-fold. If that's the really ever wish you a good morning. Thank you, God.
Okay, before I get to that part, I want to play, I guess, some of the opposing point of view of Spilt Milk. Let's see here. Where is that?
Opposing.
Here we go.
You've seen a face, still don't know why. No one knows the name of the tears that never dry. He sat behind a picket fence, from dusk to dawn she cried. All those men convicted, and yet never tried. All those killed for Jesus, Muhammad, love and hate. He knows the pain of all of those who've come to know this fate.
I didn't hear you. What?
You just need to put it in the octave.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Muhammad and Jesus.
See? Could be done.
I'm going to have to do a remix now. I got to get the tapes out and do a remix. It's like I said, it's Spilt Milk on my desk. All right.
You've seen a face, they don't know why. No one knows the name of the tears that never dried. For years the house was empty, but at night you hear me cry because everything she stood for had been cast aside. She wrote letters to the clergy and senators of late, but just like those she had mourned for, she'd come to understand.
Now, I just want to add real quick.
You better talk about that last bit.
Yeah. Also, that part there was because we did all the music first, and I went in like a week later to do the vocals. When I went into the week later to do the vocals, I realized that we were one verse short musically. That was supposed to have been just a regular verse, and we didn't have it. And I was like, oh, shit, I don't know. And so I decided that I would just kind of like sing the French horn part, kind of, as close as I could with my limited vocal abilities. So that was just an accident. And that's nothing why the song is so short. We're actually missing like 30 seconds of music because we did all the music first without singing or anything.
Vocal track, yeah.
Yeah, without a vocal track. So I had no idea it was actually short on music until I went back in and I had to do that. Oh, and when I didn't realize at the time was that I don't know if Kirk was the engineer at this point or if it was a guy named Chip Guyton, but we could have copied. Well, actually, no, because it was analog. It was on tape. You can't do that on
Technology
tape.
was so different back then. Yeah.
Right. It was if it were digital, we could have cut and paste or copied and pasted that one more verse and just stuck it in there, and nobody would have known. But because it was all analog on 2-inch tape, there wasn't either bring the whole orchestra, you bring the whole band back in for that 30 seconds, or you go, okay, necessity is the mother of invention. And so that's how that one little part got to be like that. And it made it's really different too, because it's not a lot of people that were doing that kind of thing.
Right.
At least so I'm told. It says Sparks' falsetto is annoyingly out of tune. Spilt Milk vocals are spot on. Thank you.
Said that. We like that.
Heavy Kev out of New Zealand.
Heavy Kev. All right, man. Got to go to New Zealand.
Yeah, to be honest, I was not the original vocalist for this CD. It was a friend of mine named Rick Gloth, who had a voice like Freddie Mercury. And just imagine how different this whole CD would have sounded if there was somebody with that kind of range doing the vocals instead of me with my limited David Bowie range. You know, I have
Bowie had a good range. So
well, yeah, but I have the same range. I have the same range as David Bowie, but he had the range of Freddie Mercury. You know,
yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So to me, it's like I can go from here to here, and he could go like from here to here.
Yeah.
And just before because you and Doug weren't available in the beginning either, because I wanted to do it with you guys.
I think I had just moved out here, didn't I?
I think you were in Iowa.
Or that was the year I was in Texas. That could have been the year.
94. We started recording in 94. We released in 96.
Oh, I was here. I was already in Iowa then.
Yeah. And Doug was just being Doug. No, Doug was. He was in Hyattsville, but still he was unavailable for a different reason.
Yeah.
And so I started looking for other people, and I rehearsed it with other people. I had a drummer. I rehearsed it with Rick Gloth is doing the vocals. I had a backup vocalist. I can't remember her name now. And the only thing I had to do was play guitars and keyboard. That was all I was supposed to do. And then like the week of, they all started to back out. They were like, I'm not. I'm like, fuck. And then you say, I'm available. I said, hey, are you still doing that CD thing? Actually, it was going to be an album. It was supposed to have been a 4-song EP. Because remember when we did the Korg part for only 3 songs.
Yeah.
We used the Korg for 3 songs and everything else is live musicians.
Yeah. That's right.
And that took so fucking long to do the Korg parts.
It's all right. Fun.
Yeah.
It's a good weekend.
Yeah. If you've ever, guys, I don't know how to explain this. There were like in 3 of the tracks we use, let me see. Spilt Milk, Character by Pain, and there was one other song we used the Korg on. Oh, Character by Pain. Yeah. Those 3 songs we used. I mean, Phil and I think still played guitar and bass, but almost everything else was sequencers. Drums, everything was sequencers. And so you have like, 20 tracks? And each track had to be recorded separately. And so on the Korg, you would go through and you just hear like just a snare drum. So like, and you had to do it for the whole song. So you'd be like sitting there doing the recording of snare drum on the Korg, and somebody like, and then we go through and you add the toms. You know, like the toms may only be in the song like 4 places, but you got to go through the whole song in real time. So you're like sitting there waiting. Do 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 do.
Right.
Do 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 do. And then you go
that
back.
Could have been our own. That could have been our own limited knowledge of how that keyboard worked at the time. I think I had just borrowed it from
From school.
school,
Yeah.
and so that just could have been, if I'd known that better, we could have been a lot more efficient. But you learn things the hard way.
Well, at least we learned, right?
Yeah.
We learned that for the rest of the songs, we're doing live instruments. So, man, let me bring Sparks back up because I think they're I'm gonna bring Sparks back up.
For something rare as this, what surely must have been a holy night as this. Gratitude for having thought of me. I know your time is tight, and yet you thought of me.
Now, I don't know if people know this, but see, in Spilt Milk, I'm doing the vocal part over top of the French horn. Here, he's doing it over top of the bass line. If I'm hearing that right.
Yeah.
So yeah, they stole this. Damn it, they stole. No. They stole it. No.
Well, there's certainly a lot of similar elements,
Oh, okay. Heavy Kev says, I don't want to sound like a wanker. Then don't. No, I don't want to sound like a wanker, but I have met Freddie and Bowie at different times when being a roadie, a keyboard tech down here.
Awesome.
Okay, I'm a wanker.
Awesome.
Yeah.
No, that's cool.
Now, just out of curiosity, Kev, because you were a roadie, you got to hang out with a lot of different musicians. And you're about my age, our age. You're in your late 20s. So there wasn't like now, if it happened, you probably could get like a selfie with everybody. You pull out your phone, you go like, oh, I'm with David Bowie, snap. Oh, I'm with Freddie Mercury, snap. Of course, they're both dead, but you get the gist, I hope. So do you have pictures from back then, or was it just like moments, that are just stuck in your head now? I'm just curious. You don't have to answer that like right away, but you can type it in over the next 10 minutes. I want
to point out two very different things, though. When Freddie Mercury died,
right,
the president of the United States got a blowjob. When David Bowie died, we ended up with Donald Trump. Just saying.
So I guess we should be careful which celebrities we let die and when. Is that the moral of the story? Just
saying. You draw whatever conclusions you want to from that, but
all right, now here is Spilt Milk. This is toward the end, so I'll probably just let it play out because, like I said, Spilt Milk is not a long song. It's like 2 minutes, 8 seconds or something. So here's Spilt Milk to the end of it.
Stay down the why. No one knows the name of the tears that never dry. No one heard her plea for help or help to plead the case of the lady in the corner house who didn't have a face.
That was
there we go with that arpeggio at the end.
Yeah. I don't know. Was that like an extended arpeggio? Was that one of the songs where we did like your hands and then my hands like this? Was that the one? Can you tell by how long the arpeggio is?
It could have been.
Because I think we're holding the notes. So I don't think we let go, right? There was one song when we were like doing an arpeggio and we wanted to keep holding the notes. So we just like kept adding more notes until like we had like a 20-note arpeggio or something. I don't know.
It might have been that one because I can't think of another one that ends with an arpeggio like that. But I'd have to go back and listen to the. But I'm going to be listening to this album again anyway and sending it track by track to my daughter to remind her in case she hears other things where the original came from.
Now, this is actually, I'm trying to think because and this, we haven't done this for a very long time. This was we finished this in 1996. I still have like 400 CDs in my basement. Yeah, I still have 400 CDs in my basement from then. Because I ordered I got 1,000, and I sent like 200 of them to record companies and radio stations trying to get airplay. And the only airplay I got was ESPN. And it was just a brief mention, They mentioned the CD in reference to Dennis Rodman.
Oh,
And they called him a Volaile Cocktail.
that's funny.
Yeah. So that is the only claim to fame I have to being known, is that on ESPN they referenced my CD and compared it to Dennis Rodman and called him a Volaile Cocktail. That's it. And the guy's name was Reese something. And back then we didn't have like now we have like everything you can record. You can even go back and record something that's already happened. Just hit record and it goes, it buffers it. Back then, if you weren't recording when you watched it, you missed it. So I just happened literally to be at a television when I saw it. Otherwise, I would have never known, because no one else has ever said to me, your CD was mentioned on ESPN back in 1996.
Yeah.
No one. Even ESPN never
Have you
mentioned
sent
it
it
to
to
me.
Spotify so you can make all the big bucks they send to people?
I didn't send it to Spotify. I don't belong. Well,
Or
I didn't.
Apple Music?
I guess I could. I hadn't thought about it, but
I don't know. They might need to be remastered to
Oh, that's right. They have these different standards and decibel levels and crap like that. Well, I'm not doing that. Forget that. That's too much work. So
hold on, I got it.
Now, for those
my cat
of you,
doesn't understand that I don't like him to jump up on the turntable.
Oh, well, I mean, turntable as in record player?
Yeah.
Now I still have a record player, but mine is in storage.
No, mine gets used several times a week at least.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, Phil and I have known each other for a long time, and I'm going to say something that you're old enough now. You shouldn't be embarrassed by it anymore. But I remember first of all, Phil and I think very much alike. And very, very much alike. First of all, and it's not, you could almost say, somebody wants to say horoscopes are real, because you're November 19th, I'm November 19th, a year apart.
Right.
Okay. I'm older and crankier. Well, I don't know if I'm crankier, but I am older.
Right.
But when we played in the band, there would be times, I think there was 3 occasions when we either wrote the same chord progression, because we would write songs, like we'd have a rehearsal, then we'd go home, if we write something, we'd come back with any new material the next week. We'd come in and Phil and I would have either used the same chord progression for 2 different songs, the same chord progression, or we'd have written songs about the same theme. The same, when you wrote a statement, I wrote discourse.
Right.
You wrote Park Avenue, and I wrote something else, but with the same chord progressions. And since you said, well, I'm not really crazy about the lyrics on Park Avenue, and it's the same chord progression, so we'll go with that other song. So on a few occasions we've written the same thing or very similar things without discussing it. We just go home, come back, and it's done.
Yep.
But
it's very true.
The audience knows I don't say things that aren't true. If I do, it's by accident, and then I want to be corrected. Now, I don't know if this is the first time I came to visit you. You were living in your house in in Baltimore County, because this has been after you were living with your aunt.
Moved
You're
into a
living.
house. Yeah.
Right. I think, and this has probably been before you got the dog Splunky. I don't think you had Splunky back then.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But Phil and I both have our albums alphabetized. And so
this is very true. Mine is alphabetized.
Phil and I, both of us, we alphabetized our albums. And I went over to his albums for something. As a matter of fact, Phil and I were both XTC fans. Now, I think I learned about XTC from Douglas. I don't know where you learned about. Same with you?
Yeah.
Okay. And at that point, I went over to your albums, and you said, I got a confession to make. You wanted me to know that you had a Partridge Family album in there. You were embarrassed by it, and you just thought I would see it. Do you remember that?
I do. I don't have that album anymore.
Oh.
But I did.
He said, I had to admit that I liked it all. I also liked the album. I just never bought it.
I think my parents may have bought it for me when I was like 12.
And you kept it even when you were in your 20. You still had it.
Well, they wanted to keep me into more wholesome music, because I probably had bought myself the Elton John album, Caribou. Which, if you don't know it, now, I'm 12, 13, whatever it was. I can't recall. It has a track on there called The Bitch Is Back.
Right.
So they probably wanted to guide me toward more wholesome. Because you could just never picture the Partridge Family singing The Bitch Is Back.
Yeah. I want, let's see here.
Well, maybe Danny Partridge would have sung it.
Now, I'm usually, this is for the audience people out there, because they usually on Fridays, there's a guy named Ron Kane who shows up on Fridays. And what I did was I sent him a heads up to let him know that today, this is what I sent him. FYI, tomorrow I plan to discuss a possible music copyright claim. Sparks has a song that friends of mine think is really similar to one of my songs. And then he responds back, okay, I may be late. And because I'm pretty sure it would kill Ron to talk about me and my music and our music. It would kill him. So he's like, I'll be late. He's usually here by 9. He's usually in the room by 9. It's 10:33. We go off the air between 11 and 11:30. Okay. He's not late. He's like, I'm not coming. When I am not talking about your fucking music. Now I'm gonna play some more of Sparks. Like I said, Spilt Milk is done. It's over with. That song is we have nothing left to play on it. Sparks still has like 2 minutes. I'm gonna go through like another 30 seconds or so, and we can not bash it. We'll talk about it.
And did I stumble at the fall? Hit my head against the wall. At some point did we trade vows? Are you just some high-price service from uptown? Good morning, buongiorno.
quite an extension to the end of that song.
Yeah. Instead of arpeggiating like we did, they just said we'll do a little keyboard thing and then we'll bring everybody back. Because we know we're stealing it. We just don't want them to know that bastards. Now let me see here. Okay. I'd asked Kevin about cameras and stuff. And he says no cameras at all back then. Band and selfies were not a thing. Roadies carried tools, not cameras.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it says XTC albums just remixed by Steven Wilson, really good.
Oh,
all of
which
the albums?
Ones? All of them or what? Yeah.
And what about the Dukes of Stratosphere? Those albums as well? I mean, I know those aren't XTC albums, but it's XTC. And last but not least, Sparks need flex pick.
That's funny.
No, I had this is totally unrelated to anything else, but I did a like a 20-second meme or something. You saw the thing with Trump being like a Jesus character and
yeah.
Well, I did this.
The doctor.
Yes.
How he screwed ya. How he screwed ya. How he screwed ya. How he screwed ya.
So I did that because I wasn't getting enough hate mail. So I just put Jeffrey Epstein's face in it. Because to be honest,
well, if you don't mind my saying so, and to sort of tag on to what Kevin said there, I think you need to replace your guitar strings now. They're sounding a little worn out.
Yeah, well, that was actually I caught myself trying to layer it because I doubled up. I played two guitar parts, and it didn't, they don't exactly sync up. I was going for a more full sound, not a more dead sound.
Trying to get that chorus effect. I
was trying to get a more of a full,
a little bit out of
phase.
Of phase.
Yeah, and that's more of a. I think that's more of a because it sounds like that on social media. It doesn't sound like that on my computer when it's not going through all the stuff it has to go through to get to social media or something. It sounds. I don't know if I think I remember we're talking when we're doing the.
So my students, when they come in, for lessons. they'll play something and they'll say, "It was so much better when I was practicing it."
Yeah. Now I don't have that. I don't have. I don't have. It was so much better when I was practicing it. That's. But I understand. Yeah. But man, that was. So I'm glad you. Let's see another question. Let's see here. Did you know that Cohen served in IDF, singing to troops?
No. Did not know that. I bet his style really roused them. As laid back as Cohen was,
Man. No. Who's Cohen?
Leonard Cohen, who just did Hallelujah.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you remembered his name. I didn't remember his name.
Yeah.
That's
all right.
It would have made sense to me then, because first I'm so
he was thinking Michael Cohen, who was Trump's
That's it. Yeah, I thought Michael Cohen, after he finished singing to the grand jury, he sang to the Israel Defense League, IDF. So right after he finished singing to the grand jury. So I was trying to think. Now, how's a while ago? Well, Phil has two daughters, and one is in England right now. Now, I remember she was sharing videos of her learning to play slap bass.
Oh,
but she doesn't. Huh?
I didn't see those.
Oh, you didn't?
No,
Really?
I don't think so.
Yeah, she was starting, and the funny thing is, she and I were both, because I used to when I was in high school, when I used to play bass in high school, I used to slap, because that was the thing when we were in the 70s. Well, 77 is disco, and it's like dum dum dum. That was right, and so that was like the way I played bass. And then, but I got into I became a guitar player, and so there's no reason for me to keep it up. And then at the same time, I was thinking about wanting to learn to slap again. Actually, I forgot that I knew how to slap. That's how long it's been since I've been doing it. And then I saw Brooke was doing it, and I'm thinking that, and I started. I think what it was, there's a song I was working on. I can't remember. It may have been Rio. I was learning the bass line for Rio, and I wanted to slap it, but I didn't. I played it with a pick, but I really wanted to slap that one. And that's I had to start working on my slapping technique again. So I'm starting to slap again. But I was just wondering how Brooke was making out with her technique. If
I will ask her next time I talk to her. It's so hopefully tomorrow, sometime this weekend, I'll talk to her.
Yeah, because she doesn't with the music she's playing. It's not very slap friendly. It's like
she plays with two cover bands in where she is in the UK, and one of them meets a lot more frequently than the other. And I've gotten to hear that one a couple times, and I'm trying to think through the repertoire that I've heard them rehearse. I haven't heard anything that requires slap bass.
Right.
From then, now she may have something in the other group that is asking for it. I don't know. We haven't talked about that in a while.
Now, if she wanted to learn slap, because obviously she's in England now, but if you had a student that wanted to play slap, could you do that? Because I know your string and your pick and pluck.
Yeah, I would probably. I think good teachers know what their limits are, and for me, since I don't do slap bass, I would probably refer them to somebody who does it well. I mean, I can pull out the book, I can pull out the method book, and show you this is what the book says, but you really need to learn from somebody who does it, and and I would find somebody who would help them better.
We have someone in the audience. Hello, everyone. How is everyone? Disabled Gay Shrek. Well, hello, DGS, and I'm fine. How would you feel? You fine?
Yeah, good.
Other than your slip disc, was it slip? Is it slip disc?
Herniated disc. Yeah.
Oh. Shrek has been hanging in the swamp. You got to get out more. You're never going to meet more people in the swamp. You got to meet more. You got to get out of the swamp to meet more people. So now when we did the Halloween thing, so Sam was there, and she got like a big kick out of seeing us play together for like the first time in like since 2022, and I don't think we'd actually played together since 1994 or 5.
I think that's right. I think that's right.
That was like a big kick for her. I mean, it was a big kick for me too. I mean, first of all,
And me as well.
I mean, I used to. I mean, you and Doug, aside from being like really like good friends, you guys like tolerated my me being me. Because I know that I was not like a great guitar player. I know I was different, and I mean I know what I brought to the table, and it wasn't like great musicianship. No, I brought lyrics. I brought creativity, I guess.
Creativity. That's the thing. You brought enormous creativity. Just enormous.
And the drummers brought pot. You know, we all brought something. And that's the one thing we missed about not having a real drummer was that nobody brought the pot anymore.
You know, they should have programmed those TRS 808s better.
I got the 707, which doesn't come with pot either. Now, I don't know if there was we were playing at Shangdu's, and I was throwing condoms out into the audience. And you were standing beside me, you know, while playing bass, you were standing beside me, and this woman picks up a condom, and while we're playing, because we're still playing, she walks, but it must have been an instrumental part. She walks up to me, or Doug was singing, and that's why but she walks up to me, she goes, are these real? Do they work? I said, yeah. She says, do you have another one? And I said, yeah, and I gave her another condom, and you said, that's my kind of girl. Or something something to that effect. I don't know. I didn't know if you remember that.
I don't remember that.
You said something to the effect, that's my kind of girl, or that's the kind of girl I'd like to meet, or something like that. Yeah. Forward thinking, throwing out condoms and oh.
Please, sir, may I have another?
Yeah, so that was like, well, I'm out of anything you want to talk about, man, because I just want to talk about the Sparks thing, not just, but you know, figure we touch base and stuff. Touch base and you know, because even though we just saw each other a few weeks ago.
Yeah, just a couple weeks ago. Good lunch.
Yeah, had lunch. Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Well, actually, my prostate is telling me I can't sit much longer.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, you gonna
I'm
stand?
at that age, everybody. Sorry to share too personally.
Well, look, at least you have one that works, right? Is that it? I know people who don't have working prostates.
Yeah.
So, oh, look, I appreciate you stopping in and indulging me.
Man, this is fun.
You know, so, and it's not too early for you because you're only an hour behind us.
Hour.
Yeah.
It's good.
You'd have been up anyway because your prostate.
Yeah, but it's good to hear from people around the world too. That's awesome. Yeah.
So I appreciate you. And look, next time you know, if you ever want to come on again, just give me a holler. As long as I'm part of the show, you have an invite.
Awesome.
So, all right, man. All right, so thanks a lot, Phil. I appreciate it.
I don't know how
Phil
to get
Peters,
out of this.
everybody. The third. Phil Peters the third.
How do I get out of this? Oh,
I can take you out.
I
just have to. I have so much stuff in the background here that I have to find you.
All right. Hey, man. Love and peace.
All right, man. Thanks. Okay, everybody. That was my friend since 1978 or 9, Phil Peters. Like I said, we've known each other a very long time. And he was my bass player back when we were. Well, actually, it was one band, but we went through like 3 or 4 names at one point. I think. Thanks, Ann. And so I think, and I could be wrong about the progression about these names. There was a name that I was floating called Glass. Oh, that's right. This was before I met Doug and Phil. I was trying to write an album, and it was a concept album. And the name of the band was going to be called Glass. And it was called Glass because I can't remember exactly, but the GL from Glenn was part of it. And it was called Glass. And the album was called Origins of Glass. And it was like my face coming up from the sand. And the more like the highest part of my face, like my nose, would be like glass. It's glass, and it becomes more sand. You know, it's like less glass, more sand until it goes into the beach. And that was the cover of the album. And that's what I was trying to write and work on when I met Doug, who was working at the same department store as I was. And Doug, we became friends, and he said he's putting together a band. Thanks. I did not know you were in the audience, Slap. Why'd you wait so long? So like I knew Doug. He said he was putting together a band, and I said I've been playing. And at that point, I think I've been playing guitar maybe 3 years or something. But then we put together, and I met Phil, and I was really intimidated by Phil when I first met him, because actually Doug and Phil both, because they were both college students and they were both studying classical music. And I was at that point a recent college dropout. And so I was like intimidated by these two guys, but they really made me feel at home. They made me feel comfortable. So I really, really, like I said, we've been friends a long time, and I really appreciate their friendship. I'm going to clean this up here. Right. I have so many windows open down here. Let's see here. Yeah, there we go. I can get rid of all this stuff, make it a lot easier for me. So I appreciate Phil hanging out here with me. It's, like I said, one of my oldest friends. We've been together. We've been friends since, like I said, 78 or 79. But at one point, the band, I think the first time we performed, again, the first time we performed under the name Tempest. And I just happened to like the Shakespeare thing. Yes, the music is supposed to inspire anger. Yes, thank you. And rage, anger and rage. So we did like one gig under the name Tempest. Then we did a couple of gigs under the name Ants Are Fun. And Ants Are Fun, our mascot was an anteater, or an aardvark. It was an aardvark, slightly different. It was an aardvark. And Ants Are Fun was the name of the band. And eventually we became Modern Ideal. And that's how we performed in the 80s under Modern Ideal. Then I broke up with the band. I became an asshole. And to Doug and Phil's credit, they don't remember me being an asshole. They said, we don't remember you being an asshole. So one of two things is true. I was always an asshole. They didn't notice it. Or I became aware of the fact that I was an asshole. And they just said, yeah, he's just being an asshole, but he's our asshole. So they never noticed the difference in my personality. I remember the difference. And so I left the band, and the band broke up. That's it. And then we talked about, I don't even know if we talked about getting back together, because after that, at some point, like Phil moved to Texas. He got his master's, I think, in Texas. He got his degree in Towson and moved to Texas to get his master's. Then he moved to Iowa to teach. And so there was never an opportunity for the band to get back together or anything like that. In 94, when I decided to do the CD, Volaile Cocktail, I wanted to use some of their songs on the CD. Well, actually, I may have that backwards. In 94, right. In 94, I wanted to do an EP, a 4-song EP. So all the songs were mine. And I reached out to Doug and Phil. They couldn't play on it. And then at some point we expanded it to 7 songs. And by then I got Doug and Phil were part of we were in the studio. So we had 7 songs, then we expanded it from 7 to eventually 15 songs. So, well, 13 songs, and one song we did three mixes on it. That's all. And that was 94. We recorded, 96 we finished. And the only reason I took 2 years was because the reason I think we finished the recording and stuff in less than a year. But we kept adding songs, so that elongated it. And the fact that it was supposed to have been an EP. And then it went from an EP to a full-blown album. We had enough music to make an album. And then the prices of CDs were coming down and the prices of albums were going up a little bit. No, I'll take that. No, albums weren't going up. And I think if I remember correctly, to press an album was like $1.25 each. And CDs were like $1.50 each. But the month before they were like $2. And so the CDs were coming down. And so the engineer said to me, if you wait a month or so, CDs will probably come down in price, where the CDs will meet the price of the albums, and CDs are better, and blah blah blah. One of the reasons I wanted an album was because I wanted an album cover. There was something about having an album cover. Now, I didn't have anything fancy. I mean, the original, I had a different concept of the album because I had different people playing in it in the beginning. And so I had different songs even. I had a couple of, it was actually a more like a potpourri, the original version of what this came out to be. The original version, I had one country song because I'd written a country song. I had couple of R&B songs, and I have a few songs in there that I'd written for other people, but they rejected. And I went, fuck it, I'm gonna show them how good this song can be. And so, and when that band, the original group that I put together, broke up, so to speak, or decided to back out, I was left with 4 songs. And once Doug and Steph, I keep saying Doug and Steph because Steph is Doug's wife. And I'm so used to saying Doug and Steph like they're attached at the hip. It's so hard for me to say Doug and not say Steph. But Doug and Phil, they came back into the picture and we recorded. And while we were waiting for the prices of CDs to come down, Doug went back to wherever, Hyattsville. Phil went back to Iowa, and so I got tired I was getting so bored of waiting for the prices to come down. And the engineer, one of the engineers, a guy named Chip Guyton, says, well, write a song. And so I wrote These Other Days while I was waiting for that. And in the pictures of me wearing a work uniform and playing bass and guitar and drums and stuff, those are pictures that were taken while I was writing These Other Days. And so that's why I only show, when I did the video, those pictures are only in that song, because that's the song I was actually writing when those pictures were taken. So that's it. Now you know the rest of that boring ass story, right? And thank you. So it's 11 o'clock. I'm going to do the news real quick and get some water and try to figure out how to wrap this thing up. So here now the news.
This is the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll with headlines and punchlines for April 17th, 2026, the 452nd day of the Sex Offender Administration. Dr. Erica Schwartz is Donald Trump's new pick to lead the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. She is a public health veteran who has led vaccination programs. A new sign, the administration's view on vaccines is shifting tones. As a black woman, Dr. Erica Schwartz is not just Trump's DEI hire, She is qualified to take the blame once his policies begin to kill more people. Justin Fairfax, the former Virginia lieutenant governor, shot and killed his wife Serena before fatally shooting himself in an apparent murder-suicide on Thursday. After leaving office in 2022, Fairfax tried to clear his name of sexual assault allegations and rebuild his legal career by representing the families of shooting victims. If Justin Fairfax wasn't dead, he could represent his wife. Todd Lyons, the acting head of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, which has been at the heart of Donald Trump's immigration crackdown, will leave the federal government at the end of May. If you can't stand the heat, get out of ice. Singer D4VD, pronounced David Burke, has been arrested on suspicion of killing a 14-year-old girl, Celeste Rivas Hernandez, whose decomposed body was found last year in his apparently abandoned Tesla that was towed from the Hollywood Hills. David Burke said that his Tesla came with that smell and a dead girl option. This has been the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll with headlines and punchlines on April 17th, 2026, the 452nd day of the Sex Offender Administration. Join me live at the Church of Last Resort on Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on MindDog TV.
And that is this Sunday, the Reverend is going to talk about in looking for God in all the wrong places. He's going to discuss the lyrics to "Good Morning," the song that we're talking about this morning by Sparks, and it's from the Exotic Creatures of the Deep album, 2008. Now, while the song itself is not full of spiritual references, he does thank God for the one night stand. And so that's one of the things that the Reverend is going to be looking at. For people who are thanking God for things that, according to the scripture, God would not necessarily be approving of. But hey, so that's what we're going to be talking about. That's what the Reverend is going to be talking about on Sunday. And I think I mentioned this earlier. And I know I mentioned it earlier. The air conditioning in my house broke yesterday, and it was like 90 degrees outside. And my house it retains heat like you wouldn't believe. Like even during the winter, if it's cold outside, if the sun is out, my house gets heated up. It's a fucking oven. And even though we have perennial winds outside of my house, we live kind of like on a hill. So even if if you look at the grass and there's no wind, if you're standing like 6 feet, you can go like 6, maybe 7 feet and nothing is moving. There's like no wind. If you look at the treetops, 30 or 40 feet in the air, they're all swaying. So we always have wind here constantly, but not low enough. So if we open windows, we get the breeze. So we can see the breeze. I mean, see the trees blowing, but it's not low enough for us to open windows and get a breeze through the house. And so we're suffering. It's a bitch. They're coming today around between 2 and 6 to fix our air conditioning. And I don't know what the problem is. They gave us 2 scenarios because the pipes on all the piping inside the unit, the outside air handler is frozen. And so I told them that, and they go, "Oh, okay, something could have failed, something could be broken, and if that's the case, no problem, we can fix it." Well, that's why I called them. I didn't call them if they couldn't fix it. That would be stupid. They would be like, if I have a problem with my car and I call the baker. No, I called Horizon Services because they fix air conditionings and they fix water. They do that kind of stuff. That's why I called them. And so, because if that's the case, if it's just a broken piece, we can fix it. But worst case scenario, you have a leak. It's leaking Freon, and we don't want that. I don't want any of it. It's not just the leak, the Freon leak. I don't want the Freon leak. I don't want the broken part. I want my air conditioner to work. So apparently, having a Freon leak is much worse than anything else. And the other, and also we had to turn the air, even though it was blowing cool air, we had to turn the air handler off. It wasn't cool enough that it was cooling the house down. It just was cool enough that it wasn't letting the house overheat. But he told us to turn it off because they won't work on the pipes if they're frozen. They had to wait for them to thaw out. So it's hot in here, and we have the windows open and there's no breeze. What's today? Today's Friday. Today's pizza day. I have 1, 2, 3. I basically have 3 days to get my routine straight for the 23rd. And I started rewriting it. Not all of it, just like 15 minutes of it. I started rewriting it last night because I was like, I'm starting to doubt myself because, again, it's this. I would if this was a bar that has comedy all the time, I feel just fine. But they've never had comedy there before. I'm the first person to bring comedy to these people. And I'm feeling the pressure of representing future comedians. Because like I said, if I do a bad job, and if somebody on their board does not want comedy, they could just easily say, well, we tried comedy. It didn't work. And I would have fucked it up for everybody. And if you're first at something, your sole responsibility is to not fuck it up for everybody else. I mean, that's basically what you're trying not to do. Fuck it up for everybody else. I mean, you want to do a good show. If you do a good show, you're not going to fuck it up for everybody else. If you do a great show, you're not going to fuck it up for everybody else. If you don't overcharge them, you know that you're not. But I don't want to fuck it up for everybody else. I don't want to do a bad job. So now I'm starting to second guess myself. It's like, is this funny enough? Is this, I'm starting to have the self-doubt. And so I'm starting to rewrite stuff. And I only have, today's the 17th, the show's on the 23rd. So I have like 6 days. Actually, I only have like a couple days to make sure I have everything right. Because then I have dress rehearsals in my basement. I hook up I plug in my PA system, I set up the PA system, test all my equipment, and I do that Tuesday night. So there's a problem, I have Wednesday to resolve it because the show's on Thursday. So my dress rehearsal, I'm doing an open mic on the 20th, and I'm going to be practicing a good chunk of my set there. I have been allowed to, after the open mic is over, to stick around and entertain whoever wants to stick around. They're nice enough to let me do that. It's like, oh, well, we're leaving, but if you want to stay and perform, fine. We don't care. You don't mind if we turn the music back up outside, though, right? So, thanks, Anna. Thanks for saying that. I think part of My problem is that I have an idea in my head what I want it to look like. I have an idea, and if everything is perfect, it should look and sound like this. I've never had that. I don't think. No, once. And then, okay, the first time I headlined, I was not scheduled to be a headliner. I was supposed to be in a feature. I was supposed to do 15 minutes. And I've told the story before. And the venue was sold out, and the headliner didn't show up. And they were the club was freaking out and said, we need a headliner. And it was myself and like 2 or 3 other comedians. And they said, anybody here do 30 to 40 minutes? And I said, I can. Because I started working on a 90-minute set literally from the first week I did comedy. I showed y'all, if you're there, I showed you the very first time I did comedy in Florida, my introduction to comedy. And right after that, the next week, I decided, okay, I'm gonna keep doing this, and I started writing a 90-minute set. So when I was doing this feature thing, I had been working on and written a 90-minute set. Now I couldn't perform it yet. I didn't have the chops, the stamina. I couldn't stand in front of people and do 90 minutes worth of material. If I stood in front of people, I would probably get through like 40 minutes and start to get tired. And I would start to do the things that you see young comedians do. Like they're getting tired and they start to lean on the microphone. They start to shuffle their feet. They start to shift back and forth. They start to do all the little antsy things like I got to do this, but I don't want to do this. Like children waiting in line at a store or something. And so that's at the point where I was at that point in my career, where I had the material, I just did not have the stamina. And young comedians don't know that there's a difference. They say, I got 15, 20 minutes. I got 20 minutes. There's a difference between having 20 minutes worth of material and having the stamina to actually perform for 20 minutes. Big difference. And at that point, like I said, I've been performing 15-minute sets. I said it was a feature, but in my basement, I was practicing 90-minute sets. So I was developing the legs and the stamina to do a 30-minute set. And so when they asked me to fill in, like I said, I was ready. I said, I'm going to do the first 25 minutes of the set, and I'm going to do the ending. I'm going to do my ending with it. And that's what I did. And it was probably the best comedy set I'd ever done. And mainly because I had no expectations. They didn't hire me to headline. I had no idea that I was going to be headlining. And I wasn't worried about anything at that point. It's like, I'm doing it. I was just excited. I was just so excited. I'm going to get the headline. And I remember telling my wife, I said, I'm going to headline. And she goes, no. Because she thought headlining, the only thing she knew about headlining was what she saw at an open mic. If they say, and our headliner at an open mic, sometimes the mic is running long, and everybody else got 5 minutes, so the headliner got like 3 minutes. And so that's what she was thinking. She was thinking, oh God, you're going to go last. You're only going to do 10 minutes instead of 15. I said, no, that's an open mic. This is a show. I'm doing 30 minutes. I'm headlining. I'm doing 30 minutes. And she says, do you have 30 minutes? Now, my wife didn't know that I was like practicing in the basement. You know, I had the camera. I had like a little, one section of the basement had a curtain up and a mirror and the camera. And I would just practice my set over and over again in front of the mirror and the camera. And then I watched the camera. I watched the footage and see what I was doing. And I said, oh, okay. When I make that face, it's funnier. Let's not do this, blah, 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 blah. And so I was ready, but I had no expectations. Now I have expectations. I've been doing this for 11 years. I expect myself to perform better than I do quite often. Because I've been doing this for 11 years. Now I have friends who've been doing this for like 30 years, 20 years, 25. One of my friends has been doing this at least 40 years. And I would love to be as polished as them. I would love to be as tight as they are. Not happening. Not happening. But I do have expectations, and I do know how I want the show to go. And it's never gone, ever, ever, ever gone the way I planned it or wanted it to. So, and so this is for Slaptail. Wake up! Sorry. Fly swatter. If people if you don't know what fly swatter is, you have to listen to their podcast, Slaptail Nation. Slaptail Nation is their podcast, to find out what fly swatter is. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Right now, it's just an inside non-joke between myself and Slaptail. Fly swatter. So, look, guys, I appreciate you hanging out with me. Matt is still in the hospital. And I got a text from Phil. It says, that was tons of fun. Thanks for the invite. And you're welcome, Phil. Now, okay. I'm sorry, that's Verizon letting me know that I have an appointment for today. Of course I know I have an appointment for today. So I will, like I said, I will keep you guys posted with what I know about Matt's condition as he lets me know, and with as much as he wants me to share. I know that the messages that you guys send him on Facebook, I know they pick up his spirits. And I know that because when I talk to him, well, I shouldn't say talk, when we text back and forth, he's he's down, really depressed. And thank you, Sunshine. And yes, we'll see you Sunday at church. So Matt, I know that the messages that Matt sees on Facebook mean a lot to him, because the messages that I get from him are not very upbeat. The complaining Matt that you see on the thing, that's what I get on the text. And he's much nicer on Facebook to you guys. He thanks you, and so I know it means a lot to him, that people care enough to be concerned and sending him thank yous and stuff like that. And he was wearing, the last post that I saw, he was wearing a Crack the Sky shirt. So, Moya Brennan died. Well, I'm going to have to look into that. So, I may even know that already. Let's just see. Who does we know? John Nolan, film, the uncle of Christopher Nolan. I know he's dead. A former Jets quarterback died. Former Pittsburgh Pirate died. An actress from Bollywood died. A puppeteer died. Sid Croft, he died. Richard Donat, from Star Wars, died. John Fitzgerald from the Dallas Cowboys died. Joy Harmon from Cool Hand Luke has died. So I did not know about Doya. Not Doya. So thank you. More. I had to look that up. Thank you. So like I said, guys, I'll check you out on Sunday. I will be in the background running the boards for the Reverend. And the Reverend, we're talking, he and I are discussing him getting back out and doing some stage shows, live performances, the Blessings and Blasphemy. He wants to get back out there. But he was waiting until he invented some new games, until we invented some new games. And the thing is, we got stuff downstairs. We've been to the sex shop and the sporting goods stores, and we have some new games. We just have to build them. So again, so looking forward to that, getting back out there. And guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And to get out of here, I'm going to play Spilt Milk, but it's uninterrupted with Bill and I talking. So again, thank you very much. See some of you guys, we'll see you on Sunday, and the rest hopefully we'll see you on Monday. And again, thank you for indulging me. Trying to keep the fires burning while the dog is in the pound. Getting his neutered spayed or something. All right, thanks a lot.
She lived in a corner house for 50 years she cried. All the men that never were, 'cause all the boys had died. All the fatherless children whose mothers pulled their weight. Knows the pain of all of those who've come to know this fate. You've seen her face, still you don't know why. No one knows the name or the tears that never dry. He sat behind a picket fence, from dusk to dawn she cried. All those men convicted, and yet never tried. All those killed for Jesus, Muhammad, love and hate. He knows the pain of all of those who've come to know the fate. You've seen her face, they don't know why. No one knows the name or the tears that never dried. Senators of Labour, just like those she had mourned for, she'd come to understand. You've seen her face, still you don't know why. No one knows the name or the tears that never dry. No one heard her plea for help or help to plead the case. But the lady in the corner house who didn't have a friend.